Hello. So you are in level 122, and it is either you studied 121 with me, and we were using Ahlan wa Sahlan, or you could have been using Alif Ba at another college or with me as well. And regardless of the textbook that you were using, I'm going to do like a quick overview of the different topics that we should have covered in 121. So think of this video as a refresher of some of the rules that we have covered. I am using for this review Ahlan wa Sahlan, and this is the Letters and Sounds book, which is the literacy book. And I am going to go over the material unit by unit, just to refresh your minds as to what is it that we've covered. So here you have marhaban, marhaban, ahlan, and that would be, I'm going to hopefully, and this is assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. These are greetings that we've covered. This is how to introduce yourself. So you would say Ana followed by your name, Ana Yasir, and then it would be Tasharrafna. Tasharrafna. Tasharrafna is nice to meet you. So na at the end is a suffix for us. So we are honored to meet you. And even though you are speaking for yourself, you would still use the we are because it is an expression. Tasharrafna, tasharrafna. And it is gender neutral, seeing as you are talking about we are honored to meet you, so we does not have a gender. Tasharrafna, and she says her name, she says Ana Rana. Rana is a name. So you have different ways of saying goodbye. It would be ila al-liqa. Ila means to, al-liqa is our meeting or meeting, al-liqa. مع السلامة, مع السلامة, مع is with, and السلامة means safety, which is a part of Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. So peace be upon you, and upon you be peace. And this is all unit one. So here, these are the numbers. So this is صفر, واحد, اثنان, ثلاثة, أربعة, خمسة, ستة, سبعة, ثمانية, تسعة. And then for عشرة, you would put exactly in the same order as the numbers that you are using. You would use the number one, and then you put the this dot for صفر to the right of it. So and it will end up being a straight line with the dot right here. And this would be عشرة. For 10, this is an overview of all the letters. So you have alif, and alif is a the hamza makes it a consonant, but if without the hamza, it would be a vowel, and it will make the sound ah. So depending on the short vowels, ah, u, e, it will change the sound from being a, u, or e. And then with the hamza can also take the short vowels. And as we get along with the book, we will cover these topics. I would rather like do them in order than to bring up so many rules right now. Let's do it in order. So this is the alif, and this is ba, and this is ta, sa, th, th, th. The tongue needs to be out. It's like zeta in Spanish, and thin and thick in English, and jim and ha and kha 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 kha, and da and za and ra and za, and s, sin makes the sound sa, sh, and these are the emphatic sounds now. Sa, da, ta, za, a, gha, fa, qa, ka. This is not emphatic, so this is qa, like Q, and this is K. So this is ka, la, ma, na, ha, wa, ya. Wa is a one that makes the sound W, or it makes the sound U, so it acts as a vowel, it acts as a consonant, depending on where it is at. As a reminder, Arabic words cannot start with a vowel. So if you see a wow at the beginning of a word, this means by default it makes the sound W. If you find it between two vowels, then it is a consonant. If it is between two consonants, then it is a vowel. So, you know, it is a case by case, and what you need to look at is it adjacent to a vowel, or is it adjacent to a consonant if it's at the beginning of the word, and this will determine if you would pronounce it as a wa or an u. Yeah is the same idea as well. So for the yeah, if you pronounce it as a yeah, it becomes a consonant. If it's like a vowel sound, it would be e. If it's at the beginning, it is a consonant. It is a yeah, and like the name Yasser in that short conversation, or if it is surrounded by consonants, it will be E, E, E. So it's either yeah or E. And again, all of these letters would take the short vowels A, O, or E, which is Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra. But as I said, this is a quick overview and we are doing them in order. So going along. This is a review of your writing. These are your lovely letters that connect to the right and do not connect to the left. That is why they called one-way connectors. And I would like to think of them as stop signs. So you keep on writing, your loopy, lovely Arabic letters. But then as soon as you see one of these letters, as soon as you write the letter, you need to take off your pen from the paper, leave a small gap, and start as if you're starting a new word. And if they follow each other, then they would not connect. And this is an example right here. So this word is شارع البصرة. شارع. So see the sheen connected to the alif, but then the alif is not connected to the ra because the alif does not connect to the letter after it. And the ra does not connect to the letter after it. So I have here a ayn, and none of these three letters are connected. Here is al-basra, so alif lam, ba, sad, everything is connected till I actually write the ra. So the ra is connected to the previous letter. They can connect to the previous letter, but not the one following them, unless the one previous letter is a one-way connector as well, in which case they wouldn't connect, like here. So the ra did not connect to the alif just because the alif does not connect to the letter after it. So think of it that way. You are driving the car till you actually see one of those letters. Once you write it down, then you need to start from the beginning. You need to come to a complete stop and start writing from the beginning. So here you have the ta marbuta at the very end. The ta marbuta is the marker for a female singular noun, but as I said, we're just doing the the review as we are going. So this is exactly what I said. So you have your alif, your wow, your dal, your zal, your ra, and zay. This is like those and these. This is like zoo and zebra. So this is the Z, your Z, and this is the TH as in then. And these notes, these letters in the dialect, they are pronounced almost the same, with the exception that, like the Egyptian dialect, for example, this letter that is for then tends to be more subtle, and then you'll hear it more like a Z. So if you hear me outside of class and I am talking, most of the time you will not hear me pronouncing this. This letter would be sometimes pronounced as Zain, and in some cases it is converted to a D, depending on the situation. So this is the only letter that would change. It would either be converted to a D or a Z in the dialects, but if I were to write the word and spell it, I would spell it with a Z. It's just a different way of pronouncing stuff, but the spelling is the same. And here is a reminder of how to write. Remember the if you need a resource to review the writing and you don't have access to this literacy book, whether Alif Ba or whether this one, and you cannot get access to them online anymore, there is a resource that I use. It's called Bite Size Arabic, and Bite Size Arabic, that website, it has an audio file by unit where you can review the sounds.
Yeah.
So you can press and hear the sounds of the different letters. You can have
Why?
different reading drills that would combine the letters. So you can do a review of the sounds this way. And as for the writing, so each unit would have the same thing, but they will cover different letters and so on and so forth. And all what you need is to click
Aina Hoa.
and repeat. The positive note and is that this book is written by a non-Arabic speaker, and he studied Arabic for years and fell in love with it, as I'm hoping that you would do the same. And he wrote the book to help other learners as well. And he has here a free writing book that I have used sometimes in my previous classes, and it reviews all the writing and letters. So either you can use this free resource, you can search for it online, or you can go back and look at the videos that we've shared in level one if you were in my previous classes, or write me and an email, and I'll be happy to send you videos or demos of as a reminder of how to read and write. So we are covering the general grammar rule and the vocalization, but for the reading exercises, I showed you where you can preview the sounds. So these are all and this is the distinguishing similar sounds, so you need to focus on the dots and read and write, and like test yourself and try to read a text and then maybe use an audiobook, try to read it on your own and then hear the audiobook. So there are many ways that you can practice reading by, but start by the website I recommended. So here are some words that were in this unit. So I have adib, adib, and Let me see if I can. Okay, so here you have Adib. Adib. Adib is a name of a person, and at the same time, it means an an author or like a literary person, somebody who writes books. And then you have ism and asma. Ism and asma. And remember, ism does not have a does not have a hamza on it. Ism, ism, asma. So ism is name, so you would say ismi using the possessive. You would say ismi like أنا اسمي ريهام ريهام إي ريهام. So E because it's preceded by a ra and then there is the ha next to it. So a consonant and a consonant. The ya is vocalized as an E. And then ham because it doesn't have a fatha on it and it's in the middle of a word, so it is a vowel if it doesn't have a hamza on it. Sorry. So Reham, ismi Reham. You can say ana ismi or ismi Reham, depending on the context. You don't need ana. But if you are meeting somebody for the first time, you would say أهلا وسهلا مرحبا السلام عليكم أنا اسمي ريهام وأنت وأنت ما اسمك ما اسمك. And Asma is the plural, and at the same time, it is the name for a female. So Asma is a very common name for a female in the Arab word. إلى اللقاء. So إلى would be to. اللقاء is meeting. And then these are the names of the letters. I'm not going to stop at them. So Allah يسلمك. Allah يسلمك for a male, or Allah يسلمك for a female. Here they have it يسلمك. يسلمك, and this is because here they are applying the rules of the cases. يسلمك because a verb conjugated in the present tense is takes the مرفوع case. So مرفوع would be with an U. So يسلمك. يسلمك. Allah يسلمك. However, remember that the example I gave you, like think of it as the different ways that you would dress going to certain events. So think of literary or like very classic or Quranic or religious, like for it doesn't have to be Quran. It can be like old religious texts that were translated to formal, very proper and formal Arabic, like it could be Injil, which is the Bible in Arabic, or it could be like whether it is the Old Testament or the New Testament, العهد القديم أو العهد الجديد. Or if you're talking about the Torah, it would be التوراة. التوراة. So التوراة. The Arabic translation is usually done in a very, because it is a serious text and it's a holy text, so they are done in formal Arabic. So think of formal Arabic or the literary or the very poetic ancient texts, like very, very amazing poetry in the even in the prehistoric, pre-Islamic era. Written in very, very classical Arabic, that sadly most of the words now are archaic, and for us to study them, even in an Arabic speaking country, we had to use like dictionaries to be able to identify some of the words because they are no longer in existence. So think of these type of texts. Um, the translation for holy books and religious texts and the Quran are not archaic because the words are current. So let's arrange them. So there would be the very old prehistoric, pre-Islamic texts and that uses some archaic words. So let's say that that would be you having to go to an event that a ball that requires either a tuxedo or an evening gown, like very fancy evening gown. And one step down would be like if you are going to a formal event still, but not as fancy. Let's say maybe a wedding or a job interview, or maybe a wedding would be more appropriate. So, like, or a formal event. So, you're going to dress up a little bit. You're going to wear maybe a suit, not necessarily a tuxedo. You're not the groom. Uh, Unless you are asked to wear a tuxedo or an evening gown, you don't want to, get more attention than the bride. It doesn't sit well. So you want to dress nice, but, you know, don't take the light of the queen of the day, which is the bride. Um, so this is the level of, it would be like the level of Quranic Arabic. You're like, it's not what you wear every day, but still it's not overly exaggerated, but it is still something that you do not use every day. One step down from this would be you are going to work, um, and you're not going to wear like a very formal dress that you would wear to a wedding, or like, like a full maybe suit that maybe the has a little bit of, I don't know, maybe it's made of a different material, or it could have like a little bit of shine to it, or I don't know. Uh, you're going to wear a regular suit that you were going to go for a job interview, or like a simple dress, or a simple, I don't know, like something formal and decent, but it is not after you're hired. You're not going to wear this every day, unless you are doing a certain job that requires such a dress code. But I'm talking in general. Usually, in an informal, in an interview, you dress more formal. But then once you're hired, like depending on the code, it doesn't have to be that formal. So now we have the tuxedo, we have the formal suits or formal evening dresses, and then you have the regular, clothes that you wear for an interview. The regular clothes that you wear for your interview is something called modern standard Arabic. Modern standard Arabic is Arabic that is used in the media, like in TVs, on TV when they are reading the news. It is used when they are writing newspapers and books and magazines, and it is not quite Quranic Arabic, but it is still using some grammar rules. And this is called Modern Standard Arabic. Modern Standard Arabic is the source of all the direct variations. So the Modern Standard Arabic with the verbs and the vocabulary, except for the way the some dialects choose to put the order of the words, and maybe use a certain inflection, or I would say mispronounce some letters, or take shortcuts with the emphatic sounds by either replacing them with softer sounds, or it varies from one dialect to the other. There are ones that take shortcuts, um, and some that don't, but all of us do not speak modern standard Arabic daily on the street. Even when I had an Arab student asked me something on campus on my email. Once I shared that, yes, I am the Arabic instructor, the way that we wrote each other email, even though both of us understand and are capable of writing the email in formal Arabic, neither one of us did. I ended up using my dialect communicating, and she ended up using her dialect communicating, even in a written context, because it shows a level of familiarity. I am writing in a language, like I am lowering the boundaries. I'm not setting boundaries between me and her. Formal Arabic is like when you write a very formal email or a letterhead in English, or, like you're using expressions that if you're communicating with a member of your family or an acquaintance or somebody that you know, you wouldn't normally use. So, So the we have the tuxedo, we have the evening suit or gown, uh, and like the fancy dress for a ball, the regular the dress that you would go for an evening or a soiree, or I don't know, like a theater or something that requires formal dress. What you would wear for an interview, what you would wear uh, for going to work every day, or for going to like formal settings, so to speak. And then finally, you have the dialects with the different registry, which is what you are going to wear to get an item from the store. Or like, I don't know, you want to pick meds from the whatever, so you're just, you probably grab the first thing that you see and head out of the door, as long as it's decent. Or, I mean, it's up to you what you wear. So these are the different levels of Arabic in general. Now the question is, what is it you are going to learn using this book? This book attempts to teach you uh, something that is above modern standard Arabic, but not quite Quranic Arabic. It's somewhere in between. So this book, and this is why I chose it. Some books, like Alif Ba and Al Kitab that I used to use before, they take you. Um, they don't share with you all the grammar rules right from the start. They postpone the rules. They give you like bits and pieces of the grammar, and they give you a lot of vocabulary that, from my own personal opinion, is not functional. So they teach you how to say something like the United Nations before you even know items that is in your room or items that is in your classroom. So if you read online and compare Al-Kitab and Alif Ba that most of the other colleges in the US are using, and I've used it personally for years, compare it to Alif Ba, you will find the difference, it being is that Ahlan wa Sahlan has more functional vocabulary. They don't overwhelm you with vocabulary. They give you limited vocabulary, but very key vocabulary that you can actually use. And they are superior in grammar. They will teach you better grammar that will enable you to go to a wedding, go to an interview, and go to a job that requires formal dress of coat. From there, it doesn't have any dialect resources, but this is going to be my function. Once I know that you can use a rule well, I will guide you as to how to construct the similar expressions that we have in the formal Arabic in the different dialects. Whenever there is a chance, I'm going to give you a variation. But as I said, modern standard Arabic is where all of these region dialects stemmed from, with the exception of some words like from Egypt, for example. We had many ancient civilizations. So there will be like some words that are affected by the Coptic language. There would be, and the Coptic language has its ties to the Pharaonic language before that, and there were Greeks and Romans and Turks. A lot of people were there. Egypt is a very popular destination. What can I tell you? You know, everybody stayed there for a while. And I'm being sarcastic here. But and the same with other countries. So there were in North Africa there is French influence in Tunisia, in Algeria, in Morocco. So some of the words would have like a subtle French influence. Uh, but again, the source is always a modern standard Arabic. So this is the kind of Arabic that you are learning, and whenever possible, uh, I want you to just focus on where exactly are you taking Arabic, your Arabic? Are you going to a wedding? Are you going to an interview? Are you going to a job? Or are you just learning Arabic as as a way for you to understand written Arabic, but your focus is to learn the dialect? Whatever it is that you are learning, you need to learn modern standard Arabic, because modern standard Arabic is the basis for everything. Ahlan wa sahlan gives you more rules than other books. You're not going to be tested on the more rules than other books. There is something about, like the final vowels, the cases, all of these rules really, in all honesty, if you are learning the dialect, even us as Arabs, when we talk, we don't use the different dialect. Don't use the different cases. We just use a one case for everything. It's not grammatically correct, but this is what happens. We don't vocalize the final nonations that have a grammatical functions for singular nouns. We don't do a lot of things that the textbook requires you to do or tells you that this is the right way to do it. However, I have students in the class that want to study theology. They want to study religious texts. And they don't have to be necessarily Muslim. They want to be able to read their religious text in Arabic. They want to sit in maybe a sermon at a church that maybe the priest or the rabbi giving the sermon, they are using like formal Arabic, like there are different situations where formal Arabic is used. And my advice would be to pick what you know everything, know about everything, and underline about. I want you to know about the rule so that you, if you ever need to use it, you know at least how to review it, or you know that it exists. I am not going to ask you to go to all the events at the same time, because this is not a realistic goal. I want you to focus on modern standard Arabic, know about all the rules, and then I will always tell you that this is the very proper way to do it. And if you are reading a formal text, this is what you're going to see. However, this is what happens in an interview. This is what happens in daily life. And this is what happens when I am going to the store. So, this is a long introduction because I don't want you to be overwhelmed by the grammar. The grammar rules, there are some grammar rules that are applicable for all of the situations that I've listed. These are the key uh, rules that without using these rules correctly, your Arabic is wrong. And then I'll give you one example of it. You know that the noun is always followed by an adjective. It is not the other way around. I cannot say, I would say, expensive books. So let's say kitab, which is a word that you know, I'm sure. And then غالي. غالي is expensive. So kitab غالي. In English, you say expensive book. If you say غالي كتاب, this is totally wrong. No matter where you're going, even to pick up a gallon of milk at the store, it would still be considered wrong. So there are key rules to Arabic. Let's think of it as the backbone of Arabic. Oh, so these, if you get these wrong, your Arabic is faulty. However, if something needs a like an annation at the end because it has the case ending for a singular noun, and instead of saying kitabun, you said kitab, I would understand that you mean a book. I understand that it's a singular. You pronounced it correctly, and it can work for many purposes. It might not work for an interview if you are going to study an MA in religious studies and they want you to be proficient in formal Arabic, but it will be perfectly fine for a myriad of other situations. And it is uh, it is correct. And as far as a lot of people are concerned, if you're taking it to your job, if you're taking it to an interview, you are not required to say that because it will be more formal than what is required. Think of it as you wearing a tuxedo to a job interview. So I want you to pick and choose what you want out of the book. I'll never give you an assignment that requires something that is not applicable to every situation in Arabic. I'll try as much as possible to be selective about the assignments that I am giving you so that the rules that you are focusing on are applicable to all um, the situations that you are going to be faced with. Having said so, there is a value for you learning all the rules or about all the rules. And that is why we are going to cover all the rules. I am not going to skip a rule. I am just going to tell you the lighter versions of it. I'm going to give you the full cream version of it. But then I'm going to tell you that the 2% and the 1% and the fat-free and lactose-free versions of it exist. And I'm going to introduce you to them. But it is important that you get exposed to the whole milk version with the full cream version. So going back to the example, here you have Allah yusallimuk, yusallimuk, yusallimu. Because a verb conjugated in the present tense has the final vowel u. So, and then you add the suffix for you, ka for male or ki for female, then it ends up being Allah yusallimuk. Allah yusallimuki. Or if you are addressing a group, and we will go over the suffixes shortly, it would be Allah yusallimukum. Most likely, you are going to hear it. Allah يسلمك, Allah يسلمك, Allah يسلمك, Allah يسلمك, Allah يسلمكم. This would be like the most common way that you are going to hear it. But the writing is the same. And remember the first class we had, I told you that yes, we are going to learn about the vowels because I want you to be able to recognize them. I want you to be able to read text that is vocalized, but sadly, vocalizing words is a lost art for current Arabs. Like even when you buy a newspaper or a book expecting to have like a fully vocalized vowel, unless the book discusses something that is related to religion, you are not going to have it being fully vocalized. You are going to have the very bare minimum. You're going to have like the Hamza, because you need it not to be an Aleph, you need a Hamza. You are going to find an occasional Fatha, Dhamma, Kasra, where some words are spelled the same. And if they don't use the short vowels, the meaning is going to be lost because there is another word that has similar spelling. But the vowels clarify the difference in pronunciation, and hence they clarify the meaning. But you're not going to have in a newspaper fully vocalized the text. So Allah is the word for God, and then yusallim, sallama is the root word for to greet or to keep safe. So Yusallim is God in Arabic is treated as a huwa, as a singular, third person singular, he, huwa, yusallim. So a verb in the present conjugated with huwa has the ya as a prefix and then the ka for an ending. And then you have ana, which is I, ana, ana, anta, anti, huwa, here. أنا أنت أنتِ هو هي. These are the singular, and in the in the plural it would be نحن أنتم هم. نحن أنتم هم. نحن أنتم هم. And then uh, we cover the dual, which is أنتما. أنتما for two males, and أنتن for two females, and hun, which is the plural for a female. So this is one example of the different layers of Arabic. This textbook early on gives you all of the pronouns in early on in this level uh, of Arabic 2. Other books wait till the second year of Arabic till they tell you that there is a plural for a female, and tell you about the dual. The dual in this textbook was covered in lesson 1. So this one has more advanced rules of grammar. Having said so, in functional Arabic, and these are the pronouns that I've started with, are أنا, أنت, أنتِ, هو, هي for the singular. And what you need is the word for we, you all, and they. And the most common ones, we are skipping the dual altogether, and we use the plural instead of the dual. And for they, we skip the feminine they. So any group of people, we refer to them as hum in the spoken Arabic, regardless of whether they are males or females. And then you all is not going to be antum and antun. It's going to be antum only. And for I and we, they are gender neutral. There is no gender. They don't change. So don't be intimidated by the very, very long list of pronouns. Realistically speaking, you are going to use the same ones that you are using in English only, the equivalent in Arabic, the only exception being you singular, that has to be uh, anta and anti. And remember, we do not have it. So it becomes he or she. So we don't have it, but we have anti, which is a feminine you that English does not have. And for it, we use he and she. So please do not be intimidated by the rules that they give you, um, and think, oh my God, I'll never be able to master Arabic and stuff. Think of this as the diacritics or the cases or the additional rules would help you understand what is it that you're reading. In case you are reading a formal text, then you know why these signs are there. They are not there for a decorative value. They are there because they do a grammatical function. They explain to you how the words relate to each other. However, apart from reading those holy or classical texts, you will not need them. What you would need to do is identify the word function yourself by the way it is spelled, not by the diacritics. Like, is this a noun? Is this an adjective? Is this is female? Is this is a verb? Is this is a verb in the present or is it a verb in the past? So these are the backbone of the language, regardless of whether you use the cases or not. Eh, this is what will make your Arabic proper, and this is what you will need to then skim the fat off the surface and have your fat free milk that you can use for the dialects. So whenever you are in doubt, you can write me an email and say, well, like Reham, if I have not mentioned this already, Reham, I find this rule to be like a bit intense. Will I need this really? If I'm learning Arabic for blah blah blah, and then I'm going to give you the alternatives. I'm going to give you, yes, you are required to know about it. No, this is important, but drop this part of it. Like, you need this, you don't need that. But again, you it is better that you know about all of the rules and pick and choose what is it that you need. I will always tell you, this is key. This is not used in modern standard Arabic on regularly. It is used, but not as regularly. Or in the dialect, it becomes so and so. I cannot mention all the dialects, of course. I am going to just introduce you to the Egyptian and the Levant dialect. The Levant dialect is the one spoken in Palestine, Palestine القلب والروح, the soul and heart, and Lebanon, which is Lebanon, and Syria, which is Syria, and then Al-Urdun, which is Jordan. So this is the Shami dialect, and this region is called Levant, and it is called Asham. So this is the other dialect that I am going to introduce you to. Under culture, we will discuss other dialects as or extra credit, where I'm going to share with you the most commonly used words in these different dialects. And because we simply cannot cover them all. It would be like trying to teach you American, Welsh, Scottish, Irish, and Australian at the same time. No, but it's crazy because there are like different inflection, different sounds, different ways of expressing the same items, but it is still English. Like you get exposed to it long enough and you'd be able to pick up the intonation, and it will make sense. But you need to understand the grammar. You need to have at least some basic understanding of the rules and some vocabulary to be able to identify those differences. And this is what I'm attempting to do. I am attempting to give you the backbone, the basic necessity of the grammars with some toppings that you can add or remove. But you need what is there in the main dish. So, Ahlan, Ahlan. Now, this is a very clear example of what is it that I was trying to tell you. Ahlan here has the tanween on at the end. Ahlan, you cannot pronounce it without the tanween. It's not optional here. So it's not the grammatical function only. It is because it is key that you pronounce it that way. It is ahlan, 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 ahlan. And when we cover adverbs in Arabic, you will see why this tanween, it is not the optional one. It is not the one at the end of singular nouns that is optional. So this is not optional. This is ahlan. Ahlan for hello. أيضا 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 is also. And you see أيضا here also is a word. It is not a noun that has, because the noun is singular, you have the tanween to indicate that it is indefinite instead of the a and an. If that were the case, it could have been optional, but this is not optional. It would be أيضا أيضا أيضا. In the dialect, usually people would say كمان, كمان. Some dialects would still use أيضا, but كمان, كمان is the word more often than not used in dialect, and it comes from كم. كم is the question word. How many? كم. So كمان is on top of this. Moreover, I want, in addition to what I ordered, something else. كمان كمان أيضا كمان أيضا كمان. The tanween here, you need to pronounce it. It's not optional. تشرفنا. تشرف is a verb conjugated in the past. تشرف. 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 تشرف with هو تشرف and then na for us. So this whole thing is we were honored conjugated in the past. تشرفنا. تشرفنا. And this quarter we are going to study the past tense, and the past tense is super easy. All what you need to learn are a set of suffixes that you would put at the end, and it will be very easy. We're going to do songs. We're going to do a lot of activities to review it. For now, just learn this as an expression. تشرفنا. تشرفنا. Del, Del, Zay, Ra, Zay, these are the name of the sounds. So he, the letters. So this is Assalamu alaykum. Assalamu alaykum. Assalamu alaykum. Assalam, because it is the first word and it is the subject because it is the piece that is going to be on you. They call this in Arabic, the function of this would be mubtada, and then this would be khabar. Assalamu alaykum. Assalamu alaykum. And the mubtada always is marfu'a, so you have u on top of it because it is marfu. And you would hear people saying Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. So it's not Assalamu alaikum. The O is still there. And this is what I was telling you about. The um, the modern standard Arabic is the base for the dialect. So even if the vowel is not clearly stressed, it is still there somehow. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum, alaikum. And the ya here is vocalized as an E because it's preceded by a consonant, which is the lam. It is followed by another consonant, which is the kaf. So you have alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. And then fursa, 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 fursa. Fursa is an opportunity, is a singular female feminine word that means opportunity. So it is a noun in a singular noun because it has a ta marbuta. I know it is a singular noun and it is feminine. Fursa, opportunity. And then sa'ida is happy. So here the word order, the noun comes before the adjective. The noun in singular, the adjective is singular. The noun is feminine, the adjective is feminine. So singular feminine nouns call for a singular feminine adjective. And the noun comes first. The noun comes first. So فرصة, فرصة سعيدة, فرصة سعيدة. A noun and an adjective. The تاء مربوطة is vocalized as a فتحة. There is a rule that we've covered called idafa, and we will review it in future videos. But as a reminder, quickly, when you have a noun followed by another noun in Arabic, and the first noun has a ta marbuta, the ta marbuta instead of is pronounced as ta. So, فرصة سعيدة doesn't apply here because فرصة is a noun, it's an ism, and سعيدة, سعيدة is an adjective. It is a صفة, صفة. فرصة سعيدة, فرصة سعيدة, فرصة سعيدة, فرصة سعيدة, فرصة سعيدة. And here مرحبا, 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 مرحبا. Here مرحبا, the nonation is also not optional if you want to say nice to meet you or hello. مرحبا, مرحبا. It's a greeting. So مرحبا. In some dialects, they would drop it and say marhaba. And it is a correct way of saying it. This is a dialect variation. Uh, and they say marhaba. So sometimes they say marhaban, sometimes they say marhaba, 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 marhaba. So what they are doing is they are dropping the tanween. Once you drop the nonation, once you drop the tanween, that sound N is gone. So the last sound that you would hear would be the alif, marhaba, 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 and that would be the dialect. So let's review the words. So we have adib, we have ism, we have asma, Allah يسلمك, يسلمك أو يسلمكم. أنا أهلا أيضا تشرفنا. السلام عليكم. فرصة سعيدة and مرحبا. Going to read them in a dialect, it would be أديب. See, it's the same. اسم, أسماء, almost the same. إلى اللقاء. إلى اللقاء is used by some dialects, but in others they prefer مع السلامة. مع السلامة with the safety is the more common one, and we've read it in the dialogue. إلى اللقاء. But إلى اللقاء would be okay, but مع السلامة is more often, or even وعليكم السلام would be more common. If somebody told you Assalamu alaikum, so if they greeted you by saying Assalamu alaikum, you have to respond Wa alaikum assalam, and it serves as hello and goodbye at the same time. Allah يسلمك, Allah يسلمك, Allah يسلمك, Allah يسلمكم, Allah يسلمكم, يسلمكم. أنا أهلا كمان تشرفنا، السلام عليكم، فرصة سعيدة، مرحبا أو مرحبا. مرحبا. So you see, it's not that much different. So I don't want you to be intimidated by people telling you, oh, Arabic is different and formal Arabic is going to be useless and it has nothing to do with the dialect. Whoever is telling you that has not learned formal Arabic correctly, and they are trying to promote, like, I don't know, uh, misinformation. So no, for you to use and understand the dialect correctly, you need to be able to understand the at least the bare minimum of formal Arabic. Otherwise, you'll be just listening and repeating without knowing what is it that you're saying. It will be memorizing and memorizing and memorizing phrases. And if you don't understand how these phrases come to be, then your brain has a memorization limit, you know. We're not machines. So the more that you understand how the rules are constructed, whether in the modern standard Arabic or whether in the dialect, then you'll be able to make more phrases of your own and be able to converse, even if you don't know a lot of vocabulary. The vocabulary will come, but the rules will not. Once your foundation of the vocabulary, of the grammar and the reading and writing and the vocalization of sounds correctly is faulty, you cannot build on them. And that is why I'm making this review.